Hi, I received by email two questions that I think are so important and so fundamental for every single human being, specifically for non Jews trying to follow the message of Judaism, that I decided to do this particular deepening, so to speak, of the questions. So I will show you what the questions were, and I'll try to answer as best as I can. Question number one. Wouldn't Lashon Hara? Lashon Hara means, in Hebrew, this is bad tongue. That means talking bad about other people, gossip, and so on, be considered as a form of murder of character, thereby prohibited to all. This question actually appears in the Talmud, not as a question, but actually as an affirmation. The Talmud says that Lashon Hara, bad tongue, kills three. Kills the person that talks about it, kills the person that listens to it, and kills the person being spoken about. The person that talks bad, it destroys society. That's we can understand why actually Lashon Hara kills him. The person that puts the ear to listen, okay, I can understand it, because after all, he's actually arousing in the other one the will of talking. If he has somebody that can listen, he will talk and bad about this one and bad about the other one and so on. But the person that is speaking about, why is he being killed by Lashon Hara, by this bad tongue? And the answer is, and this is a Hasidic teaching taught by the Baal Shem Tov, that when you talk about somebody, when you talk something good or bad about somebody, that generates in that somebody that particular quality that you're talking about. If you say this guy is a bad guy, so that, spiritually speaking, generates in that person something bad. How much more so if you talk something good about him, that's going to generate something good about the other person. So, should it be prohibited to all? Yes, the answer is yes. And the Talmud says in Arachin, that's the way this tractate is called, in page 15b, if I don't remember wrong, that Lashon Hara kills a person. That bad tongue kills actually the person, that at least the person that is being spoken about, and therefore it should be prohibited, forbidden for non-Jews, also according to the laws of Judaism, Noahides and Bnei Noach and everything else. Point. That's question number one. Let's read question number two, which I think it's a fundamental and beautiful question. If the answer to the previous be affirmative, and it is affirmative, then does that mean that the seven laws are, the seven Noahide laws and Bnei Noach and so on, in reality precepts that take a Noahide down a long trail through mitzvot? That means that according to the way I understand the question is, if you actually keep these seven commandments together with all the ramifications and all the derivatives and so on, you're going to end up keeping mitzvot, just like a Jew. So, the answer to this question should be no. However, it's not such a clear no. Why? Sefer HaChinuch, the book of education, was written in Barcelona, in Spain, year 1300s. The author is not known, but it is attributed to Rav Aaron HaLevi. That was the name of the rabbi and so on. The Sefer HaChinuch brings, in his explanation to the mitzvah 416, you can look it up, something very interesting. We tend to think that the seven laws, don't kill and don't steal and so on, are just seven things, quite simple things, that don't kill anybody, come on, don't kill your neighbor and so on. But the truth is, that's wrong. These are seven general ideas that, for a reason only known to God, to the Jews, God separated all the derivatives, all the things, the ramifications that come out of those seven general things into separate commandments, mitzvahs. We can argue why and discuss this. It's not the point of this class. But to non-Jews, God decided to give seven general messages, but they include so many things. That means that when a person truly, a non-Jew, truly keeps these seven laws, so to speak, he, she, whatever the case is actually keeping almost the whole Torah. He's living almost like a Jew. We can argue what the difference is, whether it's commanded to do so, whether it's not commanded to do so, but the truth is that a person, non-Jew, that really keeps the message of Judaism for non-Jews the way it really should be, would look more like a Jew than to like a non-Jew. Is this leading into conversion? That's the way I understand the question. Is this leading into conversion? The answer is no. So again, is this leading into fulfilling commandments? Not as commandments, but living the way God taught us. Taught Jews to live like, and taught the Jews to spread this message to the non-Jews in the proper way, and so on. So go learn with a rabbi that knows what he's talking about, and so on. So again, the question is this leading into fulfilling all the mitzvahs? The answer is no. You don't need to convert. Is this leading into living a life pretty much like a Jew? Yes, the answer is yes. If you really keep the 7 commandments as they should be, you will live a life quite almost like a Jew, with slight differences that, again, for whatever reason, this is what God wants. And if you were created as a non-Jew, you have no obligation at all to convert and be a Jew. You want to do it? There is a path. There is a way of doing it. Go learn, go talk to a rabbi, and so on, and you will convert. And you will have to live like a Jew. But there's no obligation into doing that. Hopefully, I will get more and more questions like this, because these types of questions help those who teach. For whatever reason, God put me into this situation. So those who teach, to show what the proper path, at least to my humble understanding, what the proper path of getting closer and closer to God is.